Good morning, everybody. It's about, I don't know, I'm whispering, 7:30 East Coast time, 6:30, 6:25, where we are. I'm sitting in this really incredibly beautiful chapel this morning. We're staying with someone who lives in the area who's volunteered to house us for the time that we're here. And there's a chapel that is on the property, and just decided to come and see it, but also just sort of sit with my experience from yesterday. So I want to give you like a quick tour. It's pretty beautiful, actually. Has some tiny little benches here, some beautiful windows. I just feel so grateful to be here. Yesterday was tough. It was surreal. I think I said this in a previous video. It was really surreal because these were things and these were people who I was seeing on TV and hearing about in the news almost every day. But it was really odd to see all these people in person and just to realize that whatever we're seeing on the news for the most part is actually happening. So yesterday when we were at the center, we were told that up until about 2 weeks ago, they were seeing 800 to 1,000 people in the facility where we're volunteering. So they did move to a new facility with actual air conditioning. So I'm just sort of imagining what it'd be like. Today is going to be 105 degrees. I'm imagining what it would have been like in an old facility with very poor plumbing. I think the porta potties were outside, no air conditioning with 1,000 people. It just seems insane to me. A couple things happened yesterday I wanted to share with you that feel really important to share. I was just noticing the affect of all the people that were in the building, and all the parents, and everyone seemed to have this, it wasn't necessarily like a flat affect per se, but it seemed to me that everyone was on autopilot, somewhat like survival mode. And it struck me because these people have been traveling for days and waiting and attempting to figure out how to get across and then navigate what happens to them when they get here. And so I could just only imagine the exhaustion. I'll post some pictures, but there are these really not great thick mats, which is where everyone sleeps. And so throughout the day, I would walk by where the clothing is distributed and see these little babies and kids just taking naps there, while their parents were either consulting with the attorneys about what to do next and where they were going and how important it was for them to make sure to show up to the court dates that eventually will be scheduled for them. And everyone's just seems both really grateful, but also not altogether there. And I get that. I think I get that to a degree that maybe a lot of people may not. Just because maybe I've somewhat been there, but not to this degree. So that's one thing that I just sort of noticed. Yesterday I was learning something about the desk where all the new families come and check in, and this little boy tugged at my pant leg, so cute. And so I like sort of leaned down to say hello. Of course, you know, my super broken Spanish. Oh, it's terrible. And then so he sort of sat down, and I sat down with him, and he was just such a sweet little darling. And he just started acting like a little puppy, and it's tough. It's real tough to see. It's interesting. I mean, there's certainly like this weird thing here where you walk into a building where there's, you know, hundreds of people, and they have these distressing lives and stories, and then you walk out and it's business as usual. It's really bizarre. It it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And the reality is it's not altogether sad, and I know that, and maybe it's just the initial shock of things. There's such good work being done there, so I was saying earlier that they had up to 1,000 people coming, but now they're sort of trickling. There's about a couple hundred people that come through each day, primarily because they're keeping like the home countries where they're coming from, or each country that the migrants are crossing to, are being processed in those countries. And so there aren't a lot going over the border. The volunteer coordinator who we've been working with did say, though, that it fluctuates, that it comes in waves. So there may be just a couple hundred, and then eventually the numbers will spike again, and they'll see a great need. But, so the reality of what happens with keeping the migrants on the southern border and asking, the countries that they first cross into to manage their needs, is that those countries don't have the resources that we do. And so it's almost like moving the homeless people from a city into another part of a suburb, and it's just displacement. It's not really addressing the issue, and it seems quite strange that we're the richest country in the world, one of the richest countries in the world, and we have more resources than our neighbors and our sisters and brothers down in the south parts, the southern parts of our border, but yet we're asking them to manage the needs with resources that they don't have. I think maybe we're doing the best we can, but I'm not sure about that. I mean, I know Catholic Charities and this respite center is taking on a massive load. I'm not sure that the government would be able to manage these families the way they are, so I'm really grateful for that. But it does seem really, it's not so much that it's chaotic, it just seems really messy. I can't really explain it, it's tough. There's supporters, political supporters on each end, and yet when you walk through the doors of this respite center, it's not that there's no politics. People are politics. Politics are about people, and so you walk in, and of course for me, I can't help but say, what the hell is happening here politically? But there is this invitation, though, that when you walk into the respite center, it's less about the politics, and really the focus is on the people and how we serve and how we love. So we had a long day yesterday, super long day, and had some dinner, but we're super grateful. Got the official volunteer tees, hey! So that's really exciting. So there is a warehouse upstairs at the respite center, and it's packed with stuff. I mean, they have diapers for probably like 30 years, which is amazing. So they have a lot of things that they may not need the most of, but very little of the things they need the most. So yesterday, many of you may already know, we went to Costco and purchased some stuff and spent about $2,500, and was actually surprised at how much we bought, but how much it cost. And I'm really hoping that more donations will come through, because it is quite spendy, right? We were also wanting to buy quality products. These people virtually, literally have absolutely nothing at all. So I'll share more stories with you that were sort of distressing for me. Maybe later tonight, I'm sure we'll even hear more stories, but for now, just giving you some updates and hopefully taking you on this journey with us. For many of you, you can't come down here and do this type of work. It's emotional, I think, in part because I'm a little tired, but also because, it's hard. It's hard to see it all in person. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to represent. I'm grateful that we have some money to contribute and give back. Today we're going to the center at 8:30, so probably in a couple hours, but they need help like cleaning substantial. I mean, there's like I said, there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are coming through there. So yeah, we'll be doing some like real intense cleaning. The volunteer coordinator said, we're gonna bleach this place. I thought, okay, We're gonna do some bleach work, so that's kind of fun. So we'll do that this morning. I'll check in with you. If not me, maybe Jen or Helen. Kate's decided she didn't want to be on camera, so we'll make fun of her for that. But thanks again, guys, and please distribute these videos to any friends or family who you know might be interested in donating, because we have a lot more shopping to do. More to come. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.